Hey guys, Coach Matt here, and I hope this video finds you well. This video is going to be of particular interest to you if you're looking at making some changes in 2023. If you've been working with me for some years, you will know I am absolutely anti-New Year's resolution because they don't work and they are not based on science. So I've knocked up this very short 4-part video with a little summary at the end so you can do the recap and this and the other, how you can make 2023 potentially your best year ever with 4 very simple strategies. I'm going to keep it short, I'm going to keep it science-based, I'm going to keep it to the point. Here's what I want you to do. Listen to each part, then press pause, make some notes, go on to the next part. Listen to the next part, press pause, make some notes, move on to the next part. So you don't have to watch this again and you get the learning. Let's go straight into part 1. In 2023, do not rely on motivation in any way, shape or form. Again, do not rely on motivation in any way, shape or form. Motivation will never bring results, and I'll tell you why. Because motivation, it's been scientifically proven to be like a wave. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not. Do not rely on motivation in any way, shape or form. Instead, focus on habits, routines and rituals. Again, habits, routines and rituals. They can be relied on. You can set the intensity of them and you are not governed by if you wake up feeling motivated or if you wake up unmotivated. And you'll know motivation is absolutely rubbish because if you've done New Year's resolutions before, you've started off really well, and then the science shows by days 11 to 14, motivation is gone, and then you're kind of slipping back, you're cracking, you're just not consistent. So instead of focusing on willpower, focus of the mind and external stresses affecting your motivation, work on small habits, routines and rituals instead. Forget motivation because it is not required. That's part number 1. So what I want you to do now, I want you to press pause. I want you to make some notes on what I have just spoke about because that is going to be exactly what you need to be able to move forward. Press pause, make notes and then press play again. Hey guys, part 2, but homework check. Did you press pause after part number 1? Did you make the notes on motivation can never be trusted and you must work on habits, routines and rituals? Perfect. Let's get into part 2. I want you to pick between 1 and 4 key areas that you want to change in 2023. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, should it be 1 or should it be 4 or should it be 2, should it be 3? You will know instinctively how you work best. Are you the kind of person that needs to pick one project and go all in on and just get that sorted before you pick the next project to go all in on? Or are you the kind of person that can maybe have 2, 3 or 4 things and you can do little bits on that, little bits on that, little bits on that, little bits on that, and then move them all forward together nicely? Here's the key bit. It must be a maximum of 4. Not 4.5, not 5, but 4. And that's not me, that's what the science shows. The science shows that high-performing people can only really work meaningfully on 4 things at any given one time. So dig deep, think about what you've previously succeeded at, and was you working on one thing all in, or did you manage 2 or 3 or 4? Just to give you a bit of an eye-opener into sort of my world and how I work with me. I have 4 key areas, but it hasn't always been 4. I've built up to this. And my 4 key areas that I work on through the year, there's one area called career. There's a second area, health and fitness. The third area is personal development and learning. And my 4th area is what I call my inner circle, my family, my friends and my experiences and my memories. So, homework. I want you to press pause. I want you to make notes. I want you to know that you've got to choose between 1 and 4 meaningful projects based on your previous experiences. Now, 4 is not better than 1, but I want you to sit down and think about up to 1 to 4 key areas of your life that you can move forward on. Press pause, make your notes, then press play. Folks, here we are, it's part 3. So far you should have pressed pause twice, you should have made some notes. You should have made some notes on motivation is absolutely rubbish and we should be working on habits, routines and rituals instead. And you should now have between 1 to 4 key areas that you have said in 2023, this is where I want to improve on. And we're remembering it should be a maximum of 4 because that's what the science says. And we need to remember that 4 isn't any better than 1. It's just your personal preference. So part number 3, within your key areas, so 1, 2, 3 or 4, I want you to start thinking about one small, tiny, micro area that you can move that forward on. Again, I want you to pick one small, tiny, micro, minute area that you can start moving forward on within your 1 to 4 key areas. And I've got some examples for you. So let's say, for example, you've wrote down a key area of exercise. You know that if you set a New Year's resolution of exercising 4 times a week or 5 times a week, you might do that for 2 weeks and then it's going to drop off because it's going to be way too much. So you may say in your exercise key area, I am just going to focus for the first couple of months on 2 sessions per week. It might be that small. I know I can do 4 or 5 sessions, but I'm just going to focus on 2. And I'm going to wait until that 2 becomes a habit, a routine and a ritual before I start building and building and building and building. Because remember, that's why New Year's resolutions fail, because we set expectations too high. So another key area of yours may be food, and you decide that you want to drink more water, eat more veg, eat less meat, eat less fat, do calorie restriction, do some sort of diet. Again, it's too much. So you're going to pick one thing for an example that is small, tiny, micro, just to start the ball rolling so it becomes a habit, a routine and a ritual. So regarding food, you may say, I've got to start drinking this 2 litres of water a day. I have 100% got to just drink 2 litres of water a day. And that's all I'm going to start on. I'm not doing anything else until that habit is nailed. Another example that some people might say, I need to sort my career out. I need to change my job. I need to get better at my job. I need a promotion. I need to earn more money or something like that. So you may set a small, tiny micro habit of having a look at one development course or a CPD course that you're going to look at doing in 2023. And it will be so tiny, you're just going to allocate time to start looking for that development course to have a look at some options. So the summary for part number 3 is you should have between 1 and 4 key areas from part number 2. And part number 3 is you're going to pick one small, tiny, key micro area for each one of them key areas. You know what to do. Press pause, make the notes on this principle, and get your tiny micro little areas down on paper for you to get ready for part number 4. Press pause now. Guys, I'm back. I told you this video was going to be a bit speedy, didn't I? Right, part number 4. So you should have known that motivation is absolutely rubbish. You should have 1 to 4 key areas. You should have some micro, tiny, small little areas within your big areas, as that's what you're going to start working on. You now need to know the essential bit, which is part number 4. And the principle is schedule, schedule, schedule equals results, results, results. Again, listen to the difference between these two things. And let's use exercise. Imagine that you've got exercise as your one key area to move forward on in 2023. Your micro little habit that you're going to work on just for the first couple of months is you want to exercise twice per week. And then you're going to build from there as time goes on. Listen to the difference between the two. I enter into my first week in January. I'm going to try and get to 2 sessions this week. That's version number 1. Version number 2 is as I enter my first week in January, my 2 sessions per week is going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday at Warrior Boot Camps between 7:15 and 8 p.m. and I'm going to put them in my calendar so nothing else gets in the way of those. I am exercising twice a week, every Tuesday and Wednesday at Warrior Boot Camps, 7:15 till 8. That's my time, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to do for the next 4 weeks because it's scheduled in my calendar. Can you see the difference between one is a bit of a wish? At some point this week, I'm going to exercise twice, but you don't know when, because you're going to live the perfect life and it's just going to happen for you, like the little fairy comes along and goes, there's your time for exercise. Or you strategically planned them in like you would a dentist appointment, a hair appointment, a school meeting appointment, or a car MOT. Things that are planned are more likely to be persistent with. So again, to carry on the examples from the last video regarding your food and you're going to drink your 2 litres of water, you may set your glass up next to your coffee cup in the morning and you're going to have 1 pint of water before your morning drink, and then you're going to have a water bottle that you're going to carry around with you all day and at work, and that water bottle will be empty before you go to bed. Regarding your career, looking for one of these development courses or a prospectus or something like that, you may plan in your schedule. When I put the kids to bed on a Thursday evening between 7:15 and 8, I'm going to start my laptop up and I'm going to start making a list of courses in my local area, and I'm going to start researching on what I need to be doing to get on this course that's going to move my career forward. So again, the big summary for this part of the video is schedule, schedule, schedule equals results, results, results. A wish list is exactly that. Think about things you've wished for in the past and think about the percentage that is actually likely come true. The percentage is probably pretty low. So you know what to do now. You need to press pause. You need to make the notes on this part of the video, and you need to think about your scheduling. When are you going to schedule these actions for your micro areas within your 1 to 4 key areas, so that you don't rely on motivation, you now are relying on habits, routines and rituals. Press pause and I'll see you in the next part of it. So then folks, we're at the end of this video and I just want to give you a quick summary. So part number 1 was motivation will never lead to consistency, and instead we need to rely on habits, routines and rituals, because this has nothing to do with the motivation wave, and sometimes it's here and sometimes it's not. The next part of it was for you, based on what you know about yourself and your previous successes, to start thinking about between 1 and 4 areas that you are going to work on in 2023. 4 is not better than 1. 4 is only better than 1 if you know you can work on 4 things at any one time. Now that you've got your between 1 and 4 things, I want you to come up between 1 and 4 things, depending on how many key areas you've got, a maximum of 1 per key area that you're going to start working on to bring that key area forward. And they've got to be tiny, small, micro and macro. Okay, so super tiny that you can schedule in every week and you can start on, and you can turn them into habits, routines and rituals before you start building them up into something bigger. And part number 4 was schedule, schedule, schedule equals results, results, results. You must plan them in. You can't wish to do a couple of exercise sessions per week. You can't wish to drink 2 litres of water. You've got to schedule them in into your calendar, your reminder, your alert system, post-it notes, getting a mate to call you or an accountability buddy. You have got to find ways to schedule those in while the habits, the routines and the rituals are being laid. When they are a habit, you no longer have to schedule them in because they will be automatic and they would have reached the point of automaticity, which is it's easier to carry on with them than it is now to stop. So your to-do list, and this is the end of the video, your big to-do list. You need to schedule out an hour where you're going to go to a coffee shop or go and have some quiet clinical time just for you, pen and paper. Okay, you're going to write down between 1 and 4 key areas. You're then going to write down what are your tiny little things that you are going to work on and figure out a scheduling system for them, whatever works for you. And then you're going to start that schedule running either week 1, week 2, week 3 or January. You're going to remember that motivation is absolutely useless and New Year's resolutions never work. And habits, routines and rituals certainly lead to massive success if you start tiny and build up small. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, let me know. If you've got any problems with any of the steps or if you find it doesn't work, reach out and I'll take you to the next step. Let's have a great 2023 together, and as always, I look forward to serving you, and if you need anything, let me know.